thrilled to certainly introduce Danielle, Vastola, and David Kelly to the masterminds, and I'll just say partners, right? Because you guys are partnering up on this new event. And then I'll let you introduce yourself, and then perhaps pass the mic to Christian as well as one of your teammate guests. If for those who are on the schedule, you can get a closer look at them, and certainly also connect with Christian. And if you want to network, of course, on the schedule tab, Town Hall, if you go to hrtechalliances.com/town hall and go to the schedule tab, you'll be able to click right through to their socials. And I guess, Christian, if just for convenience, if you want to share yours as the event sales manager in the chat, that would be amazing. So Danielle, I'm going to let you start if you don't mind, because we're the ones that first started collaborating. Sure. And be delighted to pass the mic to you.
Sure. So I am Danielle Vastola. I'm the event director at CloserStill Media for New Ventures. I'm joined by my colleagues, David Kelly, he's CEO of the Learning Guild, and Christian Keator, he's our sales manager. We are launching Learning and HR Tech Solutions next April. So we wanted to get on the call and just introduce ourselves and introduce everyone to this new event. It is actually an expansion of our already established Learning Solutions Conference and Expo. And the expansion was designed to support the accelerated pace of integration between learning and HR technologies while fostering collaboration between learning and HR people and workflows. Ward, I have a visual if it's helpful to share on the screen.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, go for it. Thank you.
Sure.
It's almost like we rehearsed this, you know. I was like, I stopped sharing and boom, you're like, hey, I've got something to share.
Yeah, so it's just a quick visual to kind of give you a little bit of background on the event. It is going to take place at the Rosen Centre in Orlando next April 23rd through 25th. It's going to be 3 days of conference programming with relevant content for both HR and learning professionals separately and collectively, with 2 days of exhibitions on the 23rd and 24th of April. So admission to the expo is free for all of our attendees, and that's going to include access to 45 plus sessions of content on the show floor, which will be separate from the paid conference program we'll be offering, access to keynotes, a dynamic marketplace of solution providers. We're expecting over 2,000 attendees, some of which include C-suite executives and the VP and director levels from the job functions you see listed here. For vendors, this event provides an opportunity to maximize business potential while showcasing products and solutions to the highly targeted audience. We also welcome exhibitors to submit proposals for speaking opportunities, and we're taking those through August 18th. And you can do that by visiting learninghrtech.com. And in addition, we'll be partnering with Ward to facilitate vendor-to-vendor meetings in our collaboration zone. So giving vendors an opportunity to explore, to explore partnerships and opportunities that foster synergies and expand their business network. So there's quite a few ways to get involved next year, depending on your organization's goals. And we're happy to share any additional information. I've included Christian's contact info here for after the call if anybody would like to take a peek at our exhibitor prospectus. But in the meantime, we're happy to answer any questions.
I'm excited and thrilled, but you know, it doesn't take a lot when people say there's a new HR tech show. I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
How can we help? You know, it's so much fun. And there's just a need for a lot of what you guys are doing. So that's fantastic. For those that just want to go walk the expo and connect with some of the exhibitors and whatnot, is there a cost for that to get in, or how do you?
No, it's free registration for our exhibit hall. The conference is the only paid portion. So there's going to be a lot of content, a lot of great opportunities on the show floor at no cost. So we hope that you'll mark your calendars, and we'll see you either way.
And I would just add to what Danielle said, for the expertise and that's in the room and your contacts. We do have our call for proposals open. I'll put a link in the chat. The call for proposals, unlike some events, is open to all. We look at the vendor community and the practitioner community as equal members that help push the industry forward. This event, as Danielle said, has been around for a number of years, but in recent years we have seen in our community this convergence of the HR space. More of the topics that are learning and HR related apply to both. This growing theme around the complete employee experience that is in conjunction with learning and HR. So this evolution of the show is all resonating with that. And the call for proposals, we see a lot of the evolvement of our industry being powered by both the practitioners and the vendor community. So our call for proposals is reflective of that. I know a lot of events do not accept proposals from the vendor community. You have to go through sponsorships for that. But we, in addition to our sponsorship options, we also do accept proposals from the vendor community. That's an important part of the conversation. So I'll put the link into chat if you or anyone in your network is interested in learning more about speaking opportunities. And Christian, who's with a member of our team here as well, is available for all of the options there around the sponsorships that are available through the show.
Yeah, fantastic. David, the organization that you've been with for a while now and driving a lot of the success in the learning side of HR tech, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the Learning Guild that's kind of behind this and other events you do.
The Learning Guild has been around for over 20 years. The Learning Guild was created right around the time that e-learning emerged in our industry. That the founders of our company saw that training was shifting from that the emergence of the personal computers, as far back as that seems, it was only about 20 something years ago, was going to be disruptive to the world of training, that it was going to disrupt the world of in-person training, and that the industry was going to need to make sense of this. And they created the e-learning guild, we're now the Learning Guild, but at that time, originally when we originated, we were the Learning Guild, which was a community of practice to help the industry make sense of how we were going to leverage these technologies. And over the last 20 years, the Guild has been at the forefront of that intersection of learning and technology. And over the years, as the definition of learning has expanded beyond the traditional definitions of what training is, our conversations have expanded accordingly, and our events have expanded accordingly. We are a community of practice. We do things throughout the year. We do online events, we do publications, but what a lot of people connect with us through is our face-to-face events. We do 3 different face-to-face events every single year. The one that we're talking about right now, the Learning and HR Tech Solution Show, has just previously been our Learning Solution Show, which has been around well over a decade. And that show tends to focus a little bit more on sharing what works, practical solutions that people can use and apply in their work today. And we're expanding that theme to include HR in the future. Our other 2 shows, which are still more learning centric, we have the Learning Leaders Conference, which takes place in Orlando in December, and that focuses on the needs of today's learning leaders. And we have DevLearn, which is our flagship event, which is an event that focuses very narrowly on the learning technology space. It's the largest learning tech show in North America. So you might have heard of that show as well. So that's a little bit about what we do. So we are expanding our focus to include HR, to be more inclusive of HR through this show and through a lot of the publications that we do, and looking forward to extending the value that we've generated with our community to those new members and enhancing the value that we have to our existing members who are increasingly playing in this shared space between learning and HR that we collectively look at as the complete employee experience. What I would encourage you to do is the link that I put in chat. That's where all of our proposals to speak come through. The only thing that I would add that you do, just because of how our sessions are selected, is look at it through the lens of thought leadership. While we do have sponsored sessions that if you wanted to demonstrate the technology that you're using and just do more of a demo session, we have sponsored sessions where that's appropriate. But for the conference sessions, it's more about the thought leadership. So it'd be less around the technology that you're using and more around those thematic elements that you were talking about, of the trends and how it's affecting the work that the people in the room do. That's what's more appropriate from a proposal standpoint.
Yeah, sounds good. That will be very much in line with what we're hoping for. Okay, we'll get in touch for sure.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, it sounds great. And certainly the practical aspects should not be overlooked. So many get enamored with the sexiness of certain new tech, you know. Oh, let's go find some AI to help us do our jobs. And what are you trying to accomplish, right? And have those practical aspects to it, right? And development, whether it be with your current employees or trying to hire employees to grow them to where you want them to be, ideally. It's a challenge for everybody. So it's great that you guys address that head on. It's amazing.
Totally, totally.
In terms of what to like for those that want to get that on their calendar, easiest way to be in touch is hit the website learninghrtech.com, right? And do you have a sign up there they can get on the mailing list to be?
Yeah, there's a button right on the top of the homepage, sign up for updates, which is a very simple sign up form that's just going to get you on the list that we will send updates to the conference as it continues to be updated with more additional information.
Yeah, terrific. And historically, yeah, so most of us are in the vendor to vendor alliance and partnership type roles that come to the town hall just because of the nature of tech alliances. But just from representation of previous participants from the vendor side, what kind of companies have you had success giving them an outlet to connect with these different buyers that are looking at the practical aspects of learning and development and HR?
What companies have we dealt with?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
what
right. Some
sort
of the
experiences?
typical, exhibitors or, presenters, things like that from previous years. I could expect they're, wanting to come back. I hear of good things from them. I even saw, I think Cornerstone registered for the event, but I don't think she made it today in person. But
Yeah, we've if you're familiar with the landscape of the learning tech landscape, we get the full spectrum of it. We will have the larger vendors, the platform vendors of that offer the LMS and LRS systems. We will have authoring tool vendors that are in the space and everything in between. This event is more strategically going to focus on the addition of the HR technologies and the full talent stack. Where our other events have traditionally focused just on the learning space and been successful in doing that, we have seen the growing need around the full tech stack that everybody's using to support their learning and HR needs, and the integration of the different technologies that are available through that. And this event is going to give us the platform to do that both from the attendee side, so that people can look at that and understand how this tech stack applies to the work that they do, while also applying it to the vendor side through things like we have with the collaboration zone, where more of these partnerships exist within the companies themselves and they can connect with each other. And it gives us the structure to do that on both sides of that coin, both on the attendee side of how do you use these technologies in conjunction with one another to accomplish your organization's goals, and then how can these companies work together to better satisfy the needs of the industry.
yeah, that's fantastic and refreshing to hear too. We don't hear that much in terms of a vision and a future and bringing it, straight away. Did you promise good weather in Florida in April?
I absolutely promise that it will be nice and comfortable and around 70 degrees inside the building.
Right. Do not go outside. It's your own peril and risk, I guess. Yeah, that's funny. I can tell Katrina's like, oh my goodness, can't wait to go back to Florida, right? No, I'm kidding. No, it's great. I mean, I would think that's a good month, but better than certainly July or August, as we heard Rob attest. Any other questions before we, or anything else you wanted to share, Danielle or Christian? The mic is yours.
If anybody, if I could ask another question, David and Danielle, from your organizing of the event, in the interest of contributing the most value possible to you, what are you looking to bring into the event, or is there a gap that you see that you'd like to see filled that would add immense value to your audience from a content and thought leadership perspective, or even from a technology and product perspective, and Anything that comes to mind.
Yeah, that's a challenging question. That we get asked that question a lot, and the challenge with that question is we don't know where the holes are until we've looked at what we've got. We have an open call for proposals. We'll get a couple of hundred proposals easily for this event, but we don't necessarily know where the holes are until we've reviewed them and see where things are. So it's hard for us to say what we are going to need to fill holes in the program until we've done that piece. I can tell you that there's going to be three major kind of tiers to the content that's there, and this might help inform something you might want to submit, because we will be attracting learning and HR technology professionals to this event. So from a conference perspective, we are looking at having basically three tiers to the content. About a third of the program that's going to be focusing on the unique needs of L&D professionals, about a third of the program that's going to focus on the unique needs of HR professionals, and then another third that kind of applies in a shared space, that you think of this type of session titles that you could see at a conference that really would apply to both of those particular audiences. So that's kind of how this event is going to be structured. Everyone will have access to everything from a conference attendee standpoint, but in terms of how we're sectioning off and building the program, those are kind of the three different elements that we're looking. Those are the three buckets that we're looking to organize the content by.
Got you. Okay, that's really helpful. And I
See,
think
Katrina, you have your hand up. A question for the panel.
Where'd I go? Okay. I might have missed this because I was late like a naughty girl, but are you doing a partnership summit or any sort of like roundtable discussions or anything like that? Like a collaboration zone or a partnership summit or like I used to always love hosting the roundtables where you actually got to sit around a table with, 5 to 30 of your closest friends, but and discuss a particular topic that everyone was interested in. That seemed to work really, really well for me.
Awesome. Well, your dreams are coming true.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, and you don't have to go to
Are
Disneyland for that,
okay.
or Disney World.
Well, I'll be right there, so I might as well go.
Of course, that's why we're having town halls, keep each other informed. And this has been a great experience. If nobody else has any questions, I think we'll switch to the covering the news in the next segment, but certainly not without thanking our special guests. And please feel free to stay on if you're not rushing to another call. We'll cover some of the news. There's even some news in the learning space, I believe, if I remember correctly. And it's always changing. So it's good to stay on top of what is happening and what isn't. And so with that,
I do need to drop off for another call, but I will just take a moment to thank everyone for taking the time. And again, reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you all so much.